Welcome to Metro Awakening VR, an immersive experience with everything you need in life. Domestic arguments with a wife that never listens, beers with the boys by the fire, the freedom to play that one piano song you know instead of progressing the story, psychedelic fever dreams that make Invincible seem PG, making new friends and meeting new people, wildlife conservation on a train, realizing you're more afraid of spiders than you thought, trying not to let a video game break you, and of course, shooting and exploding everything in sight you can. So crack out the snacks, sit back, and let's get to it. I wander through the corridors, still worrying I've been mentally scared by the last chapter of this game, and praying that this chapter will have a much more relaxing vibe. After fixing a steam pipe blocking my path, I suddenly realize I am back at the old base that was destroyed all those years ago. Weirdly, everything seems to be exactly as it was back when Sergei did those unspeakable things to me, and I had to kill my friends to try and save the rest of the people. I hear voices coming from a room, and as I open the door, incredibly, I find my two best friends arguing by a fire. I know they died all those years ago because I'm the one who left them to die, but they don't seem to be too bothered, so I act like it never happened. Just like Sergei's abuse, we can just sweep it under the carpet, like real men. They explain they are making a mushroom tea, which honestly is pretty cool. I've taken shrooms in real life, and given how traumatic the last chapter of this game was, a nice trip by the fire with the boys actually sounds like exactly what I was hoping this chapter would be about. I grab the mushrooms and the kettle and get them ready for us to take off together. Unfortunately, it turns out that the mutants also survived, and the boys asked me to go and deal with them so we can enjoy the shroom party in peace. It makes sense. One bad noise or event can send you on a bad trip, so an army of mutants will probably result in one of us trying to claw their eyes out with a spoon. I find a conveniently placed shotgun on the corpse of a fallen comrade. Out of all the weapons I've found so far, this one is by far the one I'm most excited about, as most of the fighting takes place in confined spaces. I load it up and blow chunks out of the mutant that is banging on the gate. I move into the room and can hear what sounds like hundreds of mutants nearby, but for some reason, I can't see any of them. The game does this a lot, so you let your guard down, and it works really well, because I'm completely caught off guard when a mutant drops from the ceiling like an unwelcome Spider-Man. I then have to fight off what feels like endless waves of mutants until things start to get weird and the ghosts of my former comrades start to join the fight. Eventually, the chaos of the fight dies down, and I hear a voice calling me. It's Tamir, an old friend of mine who jokes I've been avoiding him because I hadn't returned his father's book. I know that spirits sometimes have unresolved business and can't move on until it's resolved, but this seems like a bit of an overreaction, to be honest. I tell him I know where the book is and lead him back to my old room where it was kept. As we work our way through the old base, Sadar comments on how it's strange. There's no bodies or signs at all from the mutants killing everyone, which, to be fair, is a good point. This game really is a mindfuck, so I don't question anything at this point, but it's good to know that Sadar still has an inquisitive mind. I give Tamir his father's book, and he fades away, like Thanos snapped him away, and I feel good about myself making a difference in a positive way for a change. That good feeling is immediately destroyed when my abuser Sergei opens the door and proceeds to laugh about how the dead are as screwed up as the rest of us. Saidar explains that he had a dream about the mutant attack before it happened and says how he regrets not warning anyone. I make my way back to the fire, and the boys ask me about the visions I've been having. They think I need to accept that maybe I am the reincarnation of Genghis Khan, and that it could be the key to me finding my wife by embracing my gifts. If Sadar felt guilty for all of the base dying, I'm not convinced that adding the guilt of killing millions in a former life is the answer to making things better. Then again, Nothing in this place makes sense, and it's an opportunity to trip balls, so I decided to take them up on the offer. I take a sip of the mushroom tea, and they tell me to stare into the fire. Now, in real life, it takes around 45 minutes to an hour to kick in, but this must be good shit, because after about 30 seconds later, things begin to start happening, and everything fades to gray. This concludes episode 7 of our Metro Awakening journey. I'm not going to be a beggy content creator and ask you to like and subscribe, but if you don't, it does increase the chances of you being forced to take a psychedelic trip against your will. So probably best to at least give it some thought.